Welcome back to another episode of DIY Golf Car Garage. Today we're working on our Yamaha G29 the Drive. I'm pretty excited about today because we're putting on a new product out by a company called MadJax. The rear seat is called the Genesis. A lot of great things about it. The new decking on it is no longer that little plastic that warps and fades when you let it out and the sun hits it. It's got a new composite material, thicker, heavy duty, looks great. The seat covers is on it. We ordered special. It's black with silver carbon fiber. It's going to look good. So I'm going to go over there first, take everything out of the box so I can check the framing. Make sure I have all my hardware with me. So in case I need to run to the store. Let's go over there, open up the box, see what all came. Okay, well I've got the box completely empty. I got all my braces, brackets, you name it, it's here. My hardware packs 1 through 6. My step down there, my armrest, seat back, all of it's here. This is the flip seat frame. This is one of the things that's so impressive about this new Genesis seat. Diamond plate finish on it. I love that. Looks good, looks sturdy. This is the new polyethylene composite material. Looks great, sturdy. Can't say enough good things about it. The backside. One of the ingenious things they did there at MadJax was invent this new interlocking system. What's so great about it? Turn this down, to put some weight on it. It interlocks through here now. No more warpage. While it's out like this, you don't have to worry about the sun bleaching it out anymore. Doesn't get brittle, doesn't fade. Looks and works good. Also, to go along with this, it's got the new cushion assembly here. New design called the Riptide. The new complete new design, waves in it. This particular one is black with silver carbon fiber. Looks good, feels good. Now, let's go ahead and put this on the car there. See if it's impressive on the car as it is off. Okay, now what I'm going to do is go ahead and remove the roof, the rain gutters, the seat back assembly, the inspection panel, and the seat back brace. All this assembly is going to come off. So let's grab our tools and get started. Okay, now that we've got all the hardware removed, it's time to start putting on the braces and brackets for our rear seat. First thing I'm going to do is put on the front bracket. Mounts exactly the seat back support was. To go right down inside here. Always make sure that you got the studs sticking out here and your plates sticking towards the outside of the car. We'll use the hardware that came originally. Just put it right back in. And this part, we can go ahead and tighten it down once we get both of them in. Now let's put the other side in. Okay, got the front braces in. Now if you have trouble lining up the holes for the bolts going in, take a small Phillips head screwdriver and you can align the holes. I found it easier to put the back one in first, then the front one. A little harder to get in. Get the large screwdriver in. Next you tug it forward, backwards. Just get that bolt in a little bit easier. Next we're going to put our top supports on. Now let's do the other side. Okay, those are on nice and firm. Now let's get our seat back and put it on. Let's get it tightened down. Okay, we've got our seat back on. Now it's time to get our bag wheel bracket in. this fits in the back here. There's 2 bolts pretty much here in the center portion of your bag wheel. Those will need to come out because we're going to take a 7/16 drill bit and drill all the way through it. Yes, you'll be drilling out threads, and you've got to make sure you go all the way through because there's this steel bar, the hollow tube going across. We've got to drill through both sides because we've got a very long bolt going through. Now, some of these came equipped right here in the very center portion with a bag wheel separator to separate your bags. Luckily on this car we don't. If it does have one, you'll need to get you a Dremel and cut it out so that this portion here will fit flat up against it. So let's get this out of the way. Bolts are already removed by a previous owner, and let's go ahead and drill through it. Now we'll go ahead and snug these down, but do not tighten up yet. We'll come back with a finished tightening later. Okay, now that we got that firmly mounted, we'll go ahead and put in our back brace here. Put it across using the studs that's already here. And I know the instruction says that you use the nuts out of pack 2. It's very possible that they forgot that and put mine in pack 1. And it did not come with extra washers. I just happened to have a couple extra washers, and I like using washers. Gives it a better look. But we'll get it on there and get this tightened up. Now then, that looks good. Now I'll get me a couple of rags and put across here and on this side, because now I'm fixing to put my seat frame down. And before I can hook anything up, I'm going to let it rest on that. I don't want to scratch this body. Now using our bolts from pack 2, we will bolt this end to the lower hole of the bracket. Now we'll come back and just snug these down just a little bit. Do not tighten those yet. Good, now let's get the underside. Now while bolting in here, I'm going to make sure that these bars here are on the inside, closest to the body. And this is also a reason why you want to leave this top portion loose. Because if I'd already tightened that down and could not adjust this, I'd be sitting here for a couple of weeks trying to get that bolt in. Okay, let's go ahead and tighten these down just a little bit. Good, still loose. Now let's get started. Up top. Okay, now we're going to put our front support on. Basically with this, for now, we just set it in place, leave it alone. Now comes our armrest. Each armrest is identical, so it doesn't matter what side you put it on. Okay, so I did take the nuts and bolts out of pack number 3 and segregate them a little bit. Got my number 3 Phillips head, put it here in the front. Wash your nut and put it on the outside. Now then I get a longer bolt, put my washer on it, go from the outside in. At the top, we'll get our bolt washer, but it also comes with these little flat spacers. Just a rubber spacer, just pop out the center, and we're going to put it right in between the bars. Go to the other side and do the same thing. Okay, now it's time for the footrest. The first thing we'll do is lightly bolt it from here, the frame underneath the seat. Next comes the little braces that go on the side that actually attach the footrest to the arm. Okay, at this point in time, every nut and bolt that is holding this rear seat together can now be tightened securely. We've got all the main frame done. So, let me get a ratchet and wrenches, and let's get to tightening everything. Okay, we've got the complete frame of the rear seat already mounted to the car. All the nuts and bolts are tight. Went over them, went back second time, double check, make sure everything was good and secure. Don't want to over tighten because it is hollow tubing. We don't want to bend it in. Next, we've got the seat back here. What I'm going to do is have the top portion, have the supports. They line up on back. The holes are offset. We'll get bag number 5. Put these in here. Snug them down, but not get them too tight, because we're going to use number 4 to actually mount at the top, mount this portion to the frame. So we can get this tight. Now they're snug but can still be moved. We'll take bag number 4. And we'll go ahead and mount this on the car. Okay, now we can come over here and tighten all these nuts and bolts. Okay, now for the seat base, set it on here. Make sure you get the thicker portion towards the front. Level it up, turn it over. Here we've got our Phillips head screws that we're going to screw in from the back side. Now before I tighten them all the way down, I have a strap that needs to go in the very center. Just open it up a little bit, tuck it in. Leave about 3 or 4 inches out. Center it. There we go. Now we can finish tightening everything. Well, we've got the seat cushions on here. It looks good. You'd think just pinching it in there wouldn't hold, but that holds good. All this is on. The seat is on. It's ready to go. Still got a couple of things to do. We need to put our inspection panel back in, which just slide right in through there and pop it in. We've got our rain gutters to put on and our roof. So let's just go ahead and slip that on so we can hurry up and be done. Well, I hope today's episode installing a rear flip seat on the Yamaha Drive or the G29 was helpful. Don't forget, if you get a rear seat like this, a lot of things you can still do to it. Got a little armrest with cup holders, We can put a trailer hitch, safety grab bar, or even a set of seat belts back behind you. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below, and don't forget to subscribe. And once again, thank you for visiting us here at DIY Golf Car Garage.